We're here on the all-weather field at Black Bears. Absolutely terrific ground. And just watching the players line up in front of us. This is going to be a hell of a clash. Not least because our two number one players are themselves very, very able amateurs. Juan Pepper at number one. Number two, Guillermo Torreira. Number three, Ale Mucio. And number four, Juan Gris Zavaleta. Cibao La Pampa. We're just going to call them Cibao La Pampa. Cibao La Pampa Chapalevu is long form. This team now, 12 Oaks, Charlie Waldridge at number one, Christian Lapida number two, Joaquin Pitaluga off 7 goals this year at number three, and the great John Paul Clarkin from New Zealand at number 4. Terrific player. Absolutely tremendous list of horses here. And this first chukker. We got Ben Turner and Jason Dixon umpires. Christian Lapida is on Maja. Pitaluga on Armoris. Juan Gris Zavaleta on Ravelita. And we're straight into the action. Just poking it underneath Juan Gris was Charlie Waldridge. Going for that first touch. He gets a nice pass up to the number 2, Magu Laprida. Magu Laprida spins it over to the left. It doesn't quite go in towards the goal. Backhander from Juan Pepper. Nicely picked up the other side with a clinical tail shot by John Paul Clarkin, who gives it up to Laprida. Laprida looking to try and make a shot, but he's hooked there by number 2, Ale Mucio. Now picking it up, taking it out to the side for Cibao La Pampa. Interrupted by Clarkin. One backhander on the offside, another one on the near side into space. Here's the number 2 for Cibao. It's Ale Mucio. Ale Mucio turns, tries to make his way up the wing. He leaves the other players behind. Coming down, hits a long one, comes down in front of Torreira. Torreira tries to get it past Magu Laprida. Laprida gets the better of him, leaves the backhander for John Paul, who's there. Would have just said, leave it. And then makes his way in himself. Big long ball up to the front. Who's there? Charlie Waldridge to pick it up. Charlie Waldridge for a moment got the better out of Juan Pepper. He's now got to angle that one back in towards the goal. He's just drifted out to the left. He's going to go for the near side. A little bit ambitious. Pepper comes in with the tail. He doesn't quite get a clean one. So that in turn is picked up by Laprida. Magu Laprida, or Christian, his real name, takes a shot in towards goal. And this is Torreira. Torreira puts it over to the left for Mucio. Mucio looking to stop and draw inside, get away from Laprida, but ends up leaving it for Pepper. And Torreira again, just taking it round. A little bit of space. Charlie Waldridge is being taken care of by Ale Mucio, so he can't get in the way of this run from Torreira. Torreira's got past them all. Torreira's running. And Torreira leaves it behind. Juan Gris Zavaleta picks up where Torreira left off. Big hit there from JP Clarkin. Clears it out of the way. That's all you want from a back. But Ale Mucio's there, still applying pressure. Remember, Ale Mucio was one who had a little bit of a run for the La Dolfina team in the season in Argentina. It was a nice opportunity for him. A very, very talented player, extremely nice guy, with about 100 children. Sponsored by Clinova. You will have noticed their most famous product, ORS, the rehydration tablets. Also the official sponsor of Tottenham Hotspur's football team. Oh, it's pinched off JP Clarkin. And he got the ball, but not before Torreira came in and picked it up. But it was actually Juan Gris Graveleta came in with that quick snatch, and then turning round on a dime was JP Clarkin. He opted to play the line instead of reach the ball, and then came away with the penalty in his favour. So they'll move that up to the halfway line. That's a nice way to gain yourself a little bit of territory. A very correct player, JP Clarkin. And it's been a long time coming, this 12 Oaks High Goal team. Charlie Waldridge played a while ago, but has never really committed to the high goal, and this year he's decided to do it. He's an incredibly talented player, Charlie Waldridge. Was lucky enough to see him play in the arena a few times, and he can do nothing for months at a time and then pick up a stick and get in the saddle and still have the magic. Here with a 5-beat, JP Clarkin. Nice pass, but it goes to Juan Gris Graveleta, who in turn releases a nice angled shot there for Murcia. Murcia comes down, but he's got two whites on either side of him, so he just pauses, lets them go back. You can see both Magoo and Peter Luger going back, but stolen off him by Waldridge and then picked up by Laprida. Prida trying to find himself some space, just fumbles and loses it underneath Torreira. Torreira quickly slings a little backhander in there for Alemusio. And there's a nice, useful tail shot there by Peter Luger. Clarkin tries to retrieve it on the near side, but the backhander from Torreira goes to Juan Gris Graveleta. Juan Gris Graveleta, who's been absolutely beasting it in the medium goal for the Sujan Tigers. I think they came away with like a 10 goal victory the other day. Here's a backhander to Magoo Laprida. Laprida looks up. What are the options for him? He sees that JP's made a run for it for the back. JP's there, lifts up the hammer, puts it up to the front, but going back, I think that's Alemusio. Musio turns and lets Peter Luger go past him, but I'm pretty sure you can't turn on the ball like that when you got someone else coming down the line. There's a rule that they implemented about 10 years ago, and it's funny how time seems to erode away that principle, and more players seem to be just seeing what they can get away with. No, in this case, I'm talking the complete opposite, because they gave it to Musio. So once he had got away with that turn, they blew it against 12 Oaks for coming in and riding down. So it's at the umpire's discretion. This is Torreira up to... Could this be a goal for Juan Pepper? There it is, his first goal, the first goal for his team. His first goal of the season and his first goal ever in England. And people have been whispering about how this guy plays. He's played a lot in Sotogrande, but never in England. So it was just very poignant that he should find himself against Waldridge in this first game, but nice to see that. So 1-0 so far. We got ourselves way into that first chuckle without seeing a goal, but it looks like Laprida wants to change that. Look at Laprida away on a stick and balling exercise with Musio behind him, but he shouldn't have any problems now, slotting in a very quick equaliser. Magoo Laprida, lovely breakaway from the throw-in. Just lovely speed on that. So who's... back to the centre we come. 1-1. 12 Oaks, Cibao, La Pampa. Juan Gris Graveleta stops, leaves it for Musio. Musio looks up. What are the options for him? Drives it down the centre, and then it's going to be Pepper versus Waldridge. Look at Waldridge. Look, didn't quite manage to get that little one in the air that bounced. And then Laprida picks up the leftovers. And then it's up to Musio to try and angle it back in. Sorry, Torreira to try and angle it back in towards the goal. But it's just whipped away there by Laprida. Laprida can't get it away, can't clear it in time before Juan Gris Zavaleta comes round and turns it. And in doing so, I believe, gave it away. That is the end of the first chukker. I think they're going to have a hit in from there to the defending team, to 12 Oaks. When we begin in the next chukker, we will have ad breaks between all the chukkers as the horses get switched out. Very disciplined team, this 12 Oaks team. Played together a lot. And we're out. We'll be back in less than 3 minutes' time. What, straight back in? Okay, here we are. That was a very fast pit stop. We got some changes. Guillermo Torreira comes back in on Loquita. Juan Gris Zavaleta's riding Shiva. Alamusio, who in that first chukker was playing Evil Woman, is now on Belu. A pretty even game so far. Two very strong looking teams. I can't wait for this high goal season. It is so exciting. So many teams all at the same level. These are boom times for polo. JP Clarkin, the New Zealand maestro. Up to Peter Luger. Peter Luger, playmaker. Tries to run it past Musio. Musio doesn't manage to get him pushing to the outside enough, so Peter Luger does get a drive in towards the middle, but I think Musio keeps away Wooldridge from making that into a more deadly attack. Here's Torreira. Torreira turns it round, gets past Peter Luger, plays it upfield, and gives it back to Peter Luger. Peter Luger gets it snatched off him by Juan Gris Zavaleta. Trying to move on to it was JP Clarkin, but actually Torreira got it away from him, gave it to Musio. Musio plays it out towards the wing for Torreira. Torreira sees Juan Gris going for a run and hits it up, but coming back is Magula Prida, who arches out a near side that JP tries to take with him to the boards, but Zavaleta snapped onto that line that little bit quicker. You can see here in the replay is a backhander. That's the new line. Zavaleta's on it, and JP comes in just a stride too late. So Monsieur tees it up. You'd have to be pretty ambitious to try at goal. And here's the Bremont watch factory. I think fits very nicely with the landscape. They built it a couple of years back. Here's Torreira. Torreira just pokes it forward one. Pitaluga just wincing to get out of the way. Here comes JP. JP with a nice clean under the neck delivery. Did it? Falls on the boards. Here's Charlie Waldridge, but he leaves it behind. So here comes JP Clarkin. Just puts it out of the way of Juan Cris Zavaleta. Now looking to try and keep ahead of him and take it out towards the side. Back into 12 Oaks territory by Musio. Up to Laprida to deliver it back out to JP Clarkin. He looked like he was going to turn it and then went straight for the backhand that he then gives to, is this Pitaluga? Yes, and Charlie Waldridge on his inside. Charlie Waldridge, can he make it past Pepper? Charlie Waldridge is out in front. It's just stick and balling from here on in. It's right in front of goal. Charlie Waldridge, and he scores and picks it up with a lovely little pick up on the bounce to put it through. There's Millie Hine, our up close and personal camera person, just behind the goal. Look at this play, the approach, and here it leans forward for a tap, ever such a slight bounce, and just slots it through. Got away from Juan Pepper, who could only sit and watch for that one. So 2-1 now to 12 Oaks. It was Cibao La Pampa that got that first goal, but very low score in this game. I think we're approaching the middle of the second chukker. Making his way through again is Waldridge, but Pitaluga hasn't had time to turn the play yet. And in fact, Torreira's come back. There's two of them at the back. JP Clarkin's had to commit and leave the back door wide open with Juan Pepper as he goes back. And he changes his mind, decides he's going to have to try and get Juan Pepper. It might be too late. Pepper's in front of goal. Can he angle it in time? Oh, bad luck there as he just missed that left-hand post. But it was the perfect play. Between them and Bassoni's team Monterosso. So next shot to enter this second half of the second chukker with Pitaluga now just weighing up the options. Decides to drive it forward while he's defended by Magu on the inside. It's up to Zavaleta to put in the last touch the other end. Zavaleta, and straight onto that line is Magu Laprida. Magu Laprida looking to get ahead of Torreira. He's got ahead by one poke. Just to finish is all he needs. Very nice touch under the neck from Magu Laprida. Makes it 3-1. So nice textbook play there. So the players line back up. We're lucky enough to have them right in front of us here. You can see Charlie Waldridge on his favourite horse, Mantecol, that he's changed onto. Torreira drives it through. Just waiting patiently, and the patience paid off. John Paul Clarkin just let it be firmly on his line before it was stolen off him, illicitly giving away a penalty from the spot. Little 5A. See this? Alamusio, just a bit cheeky. Just thought, we're taking too long here, I'm going to try and take this. And didn't count on the letter of the law. Shifting it away from Musio was Laprida. He's got another chance to do that though. He's tried it twice on the near side, but he hasn't managed to pull it away from him. So Musio still has possession. Wheels round. This time gets it snatched off him. It's up to Wooldridge to do the dirty work and get it off him, but he ends up giving it back to Torreira. And again, Wooldridge just playing his socks off, just winning the ball for these three Argentine professionals. And then up to the Kiwi to bring it back in and pump it into the centre, and then Wooldridge back on it again. He's asking a lot out of Mantecol. He feels good, he's feeling confident on that one. And here at the back is Musio. Musio passes it up to Torreira. Torreira's going to look up front, see what he's got available, and you can see Juan Pepe's making a mad run for it, but it's covered at the back by Pitaluga. Pitaluga gets to come and bring it on the near side. He comes through. Musio signalling it was his line, but he was quite a distance back, but I guess they gave it to him. It's interesting to see that Wooldridge, when I was told by Sophie that oh yeah, actually when you look at it on camera, that was a little bit closer than it looked out looking at it on the field. So penalty here by Musio. That's beautiful. Nice shot. And what an angle there with the watch factory in the background. Been lucky enough to do some private tours there. Absolutely fascinating process how they create. It's both the factory and the shop in there. If you fancy a Bremont watch. Okay, back to the middle now, 3-2, so Cibao La Pampa managed to scrape one back. Juan Gris Zavaleta taken to task by JP Clarkin, tries to get a shot in under the legs, but this time he's got a little bit of an easier task. He leaves it to, oh, look at that lovely cut shot angle for Juan Gris, but quick coming in that little bit quicker was JP Clarkin. He might have thought that he came down it and then turned. But I guess we might see a replay and see what that looked like from here. You can see this cut shot from Musio around the back of everybody. And, yep, Juan Gris is on it. And then sneaking across is JP. Japers Crapers. So, penalty to Cibao. An opportunity to tee up their third goal. And there it is. Promptly executed, lovely goal by Musio. Loving the high hand carriage with his reins. Just before the end of the second chukker. Business as usual. Back to the centre. Look at this beautiful English countryside. If you've never been to the British polo season, I suggest you book your tickets and come along. We haven't got any of the old health restrictions anymore. Just come and enjoy the polo in hundreds of clubs across the country. So we've got a quick break and then we'll be back for chukker number 3.
Hello and welcome to Malaysia. Whether it's your first time here or on a returning flight, we at BP are committed to creating a pleasant experience for you through our new COVID-19 screening process here in KLIA. As soon as you arrive, please proceed towards the BP Health Screening Lounge.
While you proceed to walk past a thermal scanner which scans all arriving passengers. Test our COVID-19 swab test online from your home country. Please proceed to the self-registration kiosk to process your e-vouchers. If you have not yet purchased the swab test, do not worry, as our friendly BP registration staff will assist you with the process.
After registering, take a seat and relax at a world-class design lounge while you wait for your COVID-19 swab test.
Our dedicated team of healthcare professionals will be there to support you through the entire process. Our screening facility is also equipped with a state-of-the-art on-site COVID-19 lab to ensure a quick turnaround time and the release of the test result.
And that's it.
Here at BP, we hope that you have a pleasant experience with us throughout this process. Till we meet again next time, from everyone here at BP, take care and stay safe.
And we're back. A parade of 12 Oaks players. So 3-3 now as we go into chukker number 3, the last chukker before half time. Needless to say, high goal games at this level, 6 chukkers. Boom, Turner puts the ball in. Who's the first one to get onto it? Charlie Waldridge sees Pepper. Juancri Zavaleta smacks it down to Torreira. Torreira's on his way. Torreira got past Pitaluga. He's going to have a tough angle here, but I've seen him pull off these trick shots or difficult angles before. Pitaluga tries to sweep it away. In comes JP Clarkin. He's got a little bit more space, so he's able to pump it up to Laprida. Laprida looks up now. The counter-attack is on. Charlie Waldridge is up ahead of Juan Pepper. He won that particular race, but he didn't pick up the ball. But JP Clarkin still comes screaming through. JP Clarkin on his way to goal. Can JP Clarkin finish it off? The whistle went before JP came through. And there it is. And then touched it under the neck, but Juan Pepper was riding that line, and I think that's what they blew. So unfortunate, because it was a beautiful goal. But they're not going to count it. They're going to give it back to Cibao Pampa. Alamusio. Torreira. Torreira up to Juancri Zavaleta. Juancri Zavaleta now with 2 whites on the inside. He's got Pitaluga trying to pressure him out, and he has done. He's managed to pressure him out into leaving it. Therefore, Juan Pepper, that is a phenomenal shot. Is that going to go through the goal? Not quite. Torreira to finish it off with a little touch to the back. Laprida just stops on top of it to get control and then starts again this counter-offensive. Look at that pass! And sitting beautifully waiting for it was Charlie Waldridge. He's up in front, chasing at the moment Musio. Musio's catching up. Waldridge needs to get up speed on if he's going to get up in front, but he's there. Musio's all but given up at this point. Waldridge takes the shot and scores. I think that Musio realised he might not have enough gas to really make it on that play. And that was an absolutely phenomenal break, beautifully read by Waldridge. See here, nice touch. He looks a quick look over his shoulder, and from here it's done. Maybe a little bit too much angle on that, but enough to get it through the goal. No goal. So what we didn't see in that last play is that it went past that left-hand post. So it was a little bit too much angle. Musio with a tail shot. A tail shot that went over his own back line. No. But maybe it was that touch from Laprida. There was a touch from Laprida that made it go off. So Musio has another drive to Zavaleta. Zavaleta just stops, lets Pitaluga go past. Laprida going back in case things get a little bit sketchy, which they do, and he's well placed to do that. Juancri again, but this time it comes off a hoof favourably for Pitaluga. Pitaluga plays the ball, not looking as steady with the passes here. Looking to produce another demon pass like that one up to Waldridge. And here's JP. JP now. Paul just somehow keeping possession. Keeps it down. It bounces, but it comes in. And here is Wooldridge. Can he get the goal this time? No. Juan Gris comes in, pokes it away, but Juan Gris, by doing so, placed himself in front of Clarkin. And so the whistle went again. Managed to get that one. And you see here that Charlie Wooldridge came in here. And JP Clarkin. Being shadowed by Juan Pepper. Still Clarkin. All the way into that corner. What's going to pull off now? Lovely angle there with that shot. Peter Luger moves straight onto it, but Ali Musio intercepted. Look at the angle that he gets on this. That was a lovely pass in towards the goal. And just Torreira got a touch on it, but then you could see that Peter Luger was coming down. Torreira was already waiting there with Laprida. So they're going for the penalty 2. Oh, nice to see that outside the factory they have a nice old English phone box. To me, it looks like it's going to be Peter Luger now riding on Coco. For the 30. Lovely shot, very precise. 5-3, 12 Oaks. Back to the centre we come. You can see Magu Laprida riding on Guerrero now. Guillermo Torreira on Sofia. Juan Gris is on Kimbra. Alamusio on Pelon, and on the ball right now is Joaquin Peter Luger. Peter Luger puts it through for Laprida. Laprida now angles himself up for the near side next shot, but doesn't quite get. He just skimmed past that left-hand post. Giving it back to Cibao La Pampa with Alamusio. Alamusio looks up. What are the options for him? Just slides it out to the side for Torreira. Torreira looks up now. Coming in for support is Musio in case he gets into trouble against Peter Luger. Well read there. And then he comes inside. He's got to somehow figure out a way to get past Peter Luger, past Laprida, which he does. This is met by Wooldridge. Wooldridge comes in and makes Musio have to think again, and look at that! Charlie Wooldridge steals it off the 7-goaler and then puts it in towards a goal, and he's still going, and Zavaletta's there to try and stop him. Charlie Wooldridge, that is absolutely unbelievable. What have I been telling you? You've probably been saying he's being a little bit waxing too lyrical about Charlie Wooldridge, but did you see that? Look at how he deals with these guys here. Musio can't do anything about it. Juan Gris is chasing him. Nice and precise. Charlie Wooldridge slots it away. Phenomenal game. I want to have what the cornflakes he had. And now making another run for it, but this time it's Torreira. Loses it to Clarkin. Clarkin in turn ends up conceding to Mucio. Mucio now is hell-bent on revenge. He pumps it up to Juan Gris. Juan Gris got to shoot from there on the near side. Can he get the angle that Pitaluga didn't, that Laprida didn't with that last play? Now, neither of them, even these high goal ninjas, are able to produce this near side neck shot with enough angle to go through the goal. I think from now on you should be aiming to the far right of that post to try and make up for that extra few degrees. So, this Pitaluga. Pitaluga just keeping ahead of Torreira. Torreira trying to catch him while he sticks down. But he's just keeping ahead. Now Zavaleta comes in just as the bell rings for the end of half-time. And what a game this is so far. 6-3 now, thanks to an absolutely glorious goal by Charlie Waldridge. I hope we see all of those again. I think we're going to see some best of and possibly some stats too. But for the moment, 12 Oaks have 6 and Cibao, La Pampa, Chapaleofu are on 3.
Agradecer para que este evento sea maravilloso.
So this should be interesting. Yep, so 12 Oaks have scored. Of the goals, the 6 goals they scored, the 4 of them were field goals and only 2 were penalties, and just the 1 field goal for Cibao La Pampa. Throw-ins fairly even, fouls fairly even, and penalties the same. Neither of the teams missing an opportunity on the penalties. Well, this is a hit in from the side because the ball went out. Okay, that's why we're here. This is Ale Mucio. And he puts it up to straight across. I think Zavaleta's already been blown for coming across there. Not Zavaleta. Let's see what happened here. Now maybe the player for bringing him. Have another replay. So we see Mucio releases it down there, and you see. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's nice and clear. So Pitaluga came over and reached it. Things look much clearer on the screen than when you're watching them in real life, but the action is palpable in both, and it's a quick goal to 12 Oaks. So 12 Oaks just get no goal. No goal, no goal. JP bringing it in on Sophie. See up in front, you can see Peter Lugo waiting. He's decided to go out to the side. He's got Juan Pepper waiting for him here. Then he draws back down, stops, turns it into the inside, gets past Pepper. And he's out in front, except for Waldridge. If he could just get it to Waldridge. Pepper comes in with a shot on the offside that he shouldn't have taken. And that gives it back to 12 Oaks for 60, if not more. You can see here, he got in the ride-off and then came through, and JP was still riding the right of way. And so teeing this up is Peter Luger riding Heredera. He'll be taking this. Beautifully lofted shot, but out of play. Both umpire and goal judge signalling the same at the same time. To be brought in by Musio. Torreira. What are the options for Torreira? Tries to drag it inside JP, then decides to launch it. Comes down in front of Laprida. Laprida pings it back. Musio again out to the side, hoping that Torreira could have gone onto that, but instead it's Waldridge, who then allows Pitaluga to make headway up to the front. Musio sweeps it away from him, winning himself some space at the back, but the pressure's still on from Pitaluga, so he's going to have to make his way past him. He does that, look at that. Musio catches it on the bounce, but the second bounce was a little bit more tricky. A nice angled shot puts it perfectly underneath JP Clarkin, who then drives it forward, but he's shunted out of the way by Torreira. And then we've just got the drone footage here that shows us that Torreira is taking it over to the other side. Then makes a long drive down the flank that Pepper's going to try and get onto. But look at that. Okay, so in came Charlie Waldridge, got rid of Pepper, escorted him off the premises and put in the backhand. But coming down that line was Torreira. So you see here, it is a beautiful ride-off and backhand, but Torreira is right behind him, riding straight down that line. So in order to come in and do that ride-off, he'd swept him right across. So that gives it back to Cibao Pampa, who are now languishing only 2 goals behind their opponents, 6-4. Meanwhile, while Juan Gris takes his penalty, instead of Alamusio, we're going. Some other players are quickly making some changes. Juan Gris drives it through. Nice goal from him. Sorry, it is 6-4. Yep, no, that goal that I said earlier had not actually counted. This one does, so it is now 6-4. No umpire calling for a little bit more of a channel. It's always frustrating. Nothing worse than throwing the ball into horses' legs. You want them to keep a nice clear channel. That's pretty hard when everybody's on a thoroughbred. So straight away we've got Torreira. Torreira just still edging forward. They haven't got rid of him yet. Musio comes in for help, and he's nice and clean ride. Musio pushing through. Musio now with the goal in front of him. JP Clarkin was taken care of, so Musio managed to make it, and there it is, the 5th goal. Ale Musio, splendid play from him. Riding on Montana. Look at this run here. Coming through. Great work there from Juan Pepper, disabling the 12 Oaks back, JP Clarkin, and allowing him to finish that goal. Juan Gris Savaleto riding Luna there, you can see in that lineup, but it's actually Musio that comes away with the ball. Musio on Montana still pumps it through. Can he finish it? Can he finish it off with a nicely angled next shot? To me, that looked like it went behind the post. So JP Clarkin to bring it back in again. Pressure from Juan Gris. The pass out to Laprida. Laprida with pressure from Torreira himself, releases quickly, and oh dear, Charlie Waldridge couldn't quite get it on that, and in doing that was just loitering a little bit too long on the line whilst he tried to collect himself and get that shot away. Ah no, in fact they gave that to Musio afterwards, so Charlie was clean. See here, he didn't get that, but no, it was JP that came in the next one in line. He didn't have access to that one. So pretty clear umpiring from these two today. Peter Luger absolutely launches it, but it doesn't go through. Musio, just a little bit of a scuffle there in front of goal that Laprida wanted to make the most of. JP lets Juan Pepper go, hoping he might have given the ball back, and then Charlie Waldridge gets involved. He's not as concise on this grey here, not getting the clear steals that he was hoping. Musio. Nice big shot over the top. Torreira tries to cradle it down as it lands, but he does pick it up and speeds past Waldridge, and one touch will do it. There he is. Torreira's taking it all the way through. So that is the equaliser. Incredible goal there from Torreira. Look at this, just pokes it underneath both Pitaluga and just pokes it underneath both Pitaluga and Waldridge to get that goal. Yep. So lovely little equaliser, but things just a little bit scrappy here now in this chukker. So we're reaching the end of the fourth. Quite a lot of or a lot of fouls being blown. So 43 seconds left of this game. Straight back into the action. You've got Torreira. And again, the no-nonsense policy being implemented here on the Chestnut Field. And just need one more look at that one, but no, we're going straight into the penalty for Cibao Pampa. Alamusio with a 5-8. Pitaluga. Torreira can't quite pick it up behind. And here's Musio now. Musio cuts into the middle. Laprida gets going and manages to get in the nice bump. But I think he looks down as no one really followed that line up, so Musio can come through. Here comes, Wooldridge comes in, tries to take it, but a little bit of nifty stick work from Torreira allows him to come in, and that's played nicely there as he cuts in between both Clarkian and Laprida and takes it up to the goal and scores. And as far as I know, there's no objection there from the referee, from the umpire, so that's taking them ahead. Look at this. Just underneath Laprida. And then past Pitaluga and into the goal. And it's the first time that Cibao step ahead with 7-6. Look at that spectacular aerial view of these three grounds. There's another two grounds just further over to the trees to the left of that arena for this property. Lots of polo activity. There's another wonderful club over the hill called Binfield Heath. And that's now chuck a change. We'll be back very shortly. So, straight back into the action for chukker number 5. The score, we've seen Cibao Pampa edge their way ahead with a neat little goal from Torreira just at the end here. JP Clark, an absolutely majestic player. So solid at the back, such good value off his 6-goal handicap. a lot of promise in this 12 Oaks team. So we got throw-ins from the other side now. Waldridge goes back, hits it back into John Paul, who tries to give a quick flick of the wrist. Clearance there into space, but it's Juan Gris that picks it up and gets a nice pass into Alemusio. He's in a strong position here in the centre, drives it down the middle. It's up to Laprida. Laprida to stop and keep it away on that side. Hope for him that he doesn't get intercepted by Juan Gris, but he's just keeping it on the safe side of Juan Gris. And I'm not sure what the umpires saw there, whether it was a negative play or a blocking of the line, or one of the two. I think he's talking to Laprida. So Laprida maybe just took a little bit too long here with this. Or maybe even hitting it too close to Juan Gris. I'd love to have ears on that. Either way, he's given a deadly penalty to Cibao La Pampa. Not sure you even need a run-up from here, but Juan Gris is going to take it nevertheless. Nicely executed by Juan Gris. Now riding, I think that's Gestafa with Alemusio, who's on Veronica. So 5A here. So it was a hit to 12 Oaks. JP Clarkin launches it into the middle, running there to get straight onto it. Peter Luger picks it up nicely, keeps it away from Pepper, but somebody gets the back in. And Juan Gris is up in front with only JP to get past. So Juan Gris is going to try and run it. Just leaves it behind. Crucial opportunity there. Laprida puts it out for Pitaluga. Pitaluga checks over his shoulder, then decides to turn it back into the inside, where he might have a little bit more space, but it's stolen off him by Terrera. Terrera gets hooked in turn and gives it back to Laprida. Laprida now just keeping it out in front of Juan Gris. Savaleta just trying to get away, manages to block him from putting it through. JP Clarkin has a go, and he was turning it and on his way towards the goal when Alemusio came round. Did the shout go in favour of 12 Oaks? By the look of JP, maybe not. See here, this touch onto here, he comes and takes it on the near side. JP calls for that line. Captain Pitaluga just remonstrating with Dixon. So yep, so it is in favour of 12 Oaks. Little spot hit now to help with this 2-goal deficit now. They've been bleeding a little bit in the second half, 12 Oaks, after an astounding first half. But they're back in the games. 8-7 now with that penalty from Pitaluga. Back to the centre we go with the full 5 minutes, 7 seconds left of this fifth chukker. Straight from the throw-in. Alamusio pumps it out to the front. Torreira's there. Torreira's got no one between him and the goal. He's going all the way. He's leaning right down. He just leaves it behind. And a nice tail clearance by Laprida back to Peter Luger and right up to the front to Charlie Waldridge. Charlie Waldridge now with plenty of space in front of Zavaleta again. Just hit it and put it up into the air, so Zavaleta able to come in with the clearance. Snapping quickly onto it. Waldridge tried to, but even quicker was Musio. Musio with a powerful neck shot, beautifully placed there for Zavaleta. Can Zavaleta catch the bounce? Yes, he did, and on the near side to boot. He stops. He comes right down almost to zero to cut in behind JP Clark, and he's going to have to do something else and try and outrun him on his thoroughbreds. I think Peter Luger then tries to move on to this backhand here from Laprida, but it's Musio now who spins round, turns on it in between both Clarkin and Laprida. Laprida comes and picks it up, but Torreira was there in waiting for that to pop out in his favour. So what a great piece of action here. Just a couple of unfortunate runs for both Cibao and 12 Oaks. Unfortunate as in they made the breaks, but they didn't quite come away with the ball. And just making the break is hard enough. This is one, and in this case, Laprida comes over. We're going to have half time. So Juan Gris gearing up for the penalty here. It's good. They're ahead again. They increase their lead now, 9-7. 12 Oaks had such a promising first half, now trailing by 2, but the game has still very much been balanced and by no means dominated by one or the other, apart from a couple of goals difference. Alamusio now. Oh, and again a breakaway, but leaving the ball behind. Laprida looking to not make the same mistake, just touching it out in front of him to try and get it away from Torreira. Torreira still leaning in for the hook, waiting for the right moment. Laprida's going to have to bide by his time because he's got Juan Gris in front, so he leaves it to Peter Luger. Peter Luger can't quite get away from the stick from Musio. Needs to switch onto the other side. Still in between Musio and Zavaleta. Zavaleta waiting, but not quite enough coordination there between Musio and Zavaleta, because when Zavaleta came in for the bump, they both caught him in a sandwich. And you can see here the whole time Zavaleta's waiting to pick up anyone that gets through. Behind, just looking to poke it up that way with Torreira and Musio. So nicely won penalty there by Peter Luger, both Peter Luger and Laprida contributing to that one. Let's hope they can pick a goal out of this. Yep, it's good. So, ball straight back in. On the near side, Laprida. Laprida's away. Laprida riding Jordan, which is one of his own breed, the Motor breed, so it's called Motor Jordan. This is him there on that one. Stops, pokes it out from in front of Zavaleta. Now heads in towards the goal. Nice angled shot. It's got enough, but can Waldridge finish it off? Yes, he does. But they're blowing it because Musio seemed to have got onto it quicker. So let's see. There's the angle. You can see straight down there. Yeah, okay. He's just winding, weaving out there in front of Alamusa. Just got a little bit excited about the prospect of popping it through there. So this gives it back to Cibao La Pampa with this 2-goal lead now as we approach the closing part of the fifth chukker. To make that change there, so what was going to be a hit into them ends up being a throw in for the two teams, because he went off and made a change when he shouldn't. I mean, we already had the half-time change for this chukker. So he throws it in from the inside out. First one onto it is Laprida. He's very snappy in those line-outs for Laprida all the way around the houses. He's going to go. He's got a clear shot at goal now. He takes it, but who's going to come in and get it before he does? Nobody. It's through. Laprida scores another goal, and so it's 9-8. Or 9-9? Did you already do that? Sorry, I was reading off the board here. I thought they had 2 goals, but I think it's gone up to 9-9. So that's the equaliser. Beautiful opportunity that he created for himself there. So we're even again as we head towards the last 30 seconds of the 5th chukker. But meanwhile, this is an opportunity for 12 Oaks to recuperate their lead. So they've moved it up to a 30. Now it's another opportunity for Pitaluga. And he puts that through. So it's 10-9, double figures for 12 Oaks. Back in front as they were from the beginning. And let's see if they can maintain that. Look at that. Look at that movement. So relaxed. Perfect timing. Back in. Here's a break from JP Clark in. Just as 30 seconds left of this. Can he take it all the way? JP, will he be able to make it? 11 just before the end of this. The 5th chukker. John Paul Clark in. Makes it count. 11-9 to 12 Oaks as they go back for the last change. Or should I say the last chukker change of the game. Beautiful play from him. So we will put out some ads first. You can see that 2-goal difference between these two teams, and we got one more chukker left. And it's turned into a beautiful day down here in near Henley, Oxfordshire.
To the history behind the Prince of Wales Trophy final. We were founded in 1985. Dad wanted to start the club with the intention of hosting all different levels of polo. Asked Prince Charles if we could name it after him. Here we are today, 36 years later. It's a top-level tournament, top-level players. We're expecting a fantastic final Saturday, high-level polo. Obviously amazing to get Justine and Brooks on board and build this tournament up. Fantastic company, it's the perfect partner for the game of Kings. Their royal tradition, it's fantastic they support polo as they do, and the fact that they've come in is even better. So yeah, over the moon to be working with Justine and Brooks. It's a great partnership and long may that continue. The teams will be very much looking forward to getting the Prince of Wales Trophy from Chadwick Delaney, who's the MD of Justine and Brooks. They all want to get their hands on that.
No, So look at that, another spectacular aerial shot. You get a view of the river fields over on the other side. And there's actually a little railway in between these two polo fields that runs all the way through. The proprietor here, Mr. Oas Schwarzenbach, was very keen on his railways and has a miniature railway by one of the houses here as well. It's now the scion of the Schwarzenbachs, Mr. Guy Schwarzenbach, who has his Black Bears team based here, himself a terrific player, half Swiss, half Australian. So straight back into the action. Well, straight back into the whistle, it seems. Peter Luger launches it right over the top. Who's going back to get it? Looks like Musio. Musio delivers an open shot back out, hoping that Juan Gris is going to move on to it. He's being shadowed by John Paul Clarkin, but Juan Gris is away now, keeping his head down, making sure he connects with that one. You've got both Peter Luger and Laprida coming after him. Juan Gris out ahead. Juan Gris in front of goal. The yellow post just there. Can he pop them back in? Look at the angle that he got on that. It's there on the goal line, but it's gone through. And Peter Luger couldn't pick it up before it went over that line. The goal judge had seen it. And that was a lovely goal there by Zavaleta. Not least around the halfway mark. It looked pretty tricky, but this approach just beautiful. A little bit too far, so he leans forward and then touches it. Peter Luger hoping he can pick it up here, but it's too late. So, just the one goal between the two now. 11-10, I think that is. From the throw-in. Peter Luger. Snaps it away, leaving Wooldridge to try and take care of Juan Gris. And scores another goal. So just very cementing their lead by another goal, just as things were looking like it was going the other way. And lovely work there by Charlie Wooldridge, I think it was, who did most of the marking there to enable him to come and put that through. Laprida. Laprida smacks it over to Terrera. Terrera can't quite get rid of it on that side. Here comes JP Clarkin. He's running through. JP Clarkin managed to get a couple of breaks in this side of the halfway mark, and then pushes that through. Just got the sees the gap and drives through. 12 Oaks, 12-10. Quick check over his shoulder, double check over his shoulder. And a last minute spurt from Zavaleta, couldn't do anything about that. 13-10, sorry. So guys, what you're doing is you're flashing up the score. The score isn't showing, but you flash it up after a goal without the new score line. So it's okay. Musio leaves it for Torreira. Torreira drives it up. Musio's on a run. Can he get there? Lovely clearance. I think is that Pitaluga that managed to get it across and out of the way. Out of danger, but only momentarily, because Musio's back on the attack, and he's managed to wheel his way around both of them, and still only got to deal with one player before he gets there. Coming round, got it past one. The hook comes in, and now it's JP Clarkin again with plenty of space. How he's found himself with all this space here in these last two chukkers. He makes the pass up to the front. Who's there? Pitaluga. Laprida hadn't quite got there yet, but when he did, he came in a bit late, and then across in front of Zavaleta. Zavaleta, obviously he clipped him as he came through. See, comes in to get that one, and then just catches Zavaleta's front legs there. So Zavaleta, to be safe, is coming off to change this one. Musio to take a 60 here. Decisive at this point. Could it put them back in the game with less than 3 minutes left to go? If you score this one, then you've got hope for another two after it. 13-10, 12 Oaks lead after a brief interlude. Oh, look at that! Plucked out of thin air by Laprida. Zavaleta not having any of it, but Laprida says, it's mine. I'm on fire right now. I'm going to deliver this for Joaquim. But no, Torreira stops it, controls it, then takes it round the edge to try and see if he can spot another gap like he did with the goal down the other end. And then takes a sweeping shot, but that comes off, that ricochets off JP and might end up in a foul in favour of 12 Oaks if he took the shot and it hit the horse in front. This is all part of the early season conditioning of the players. Just letting them know what will run and what won't. What are they opting for? I think they're going for a throw in here. Why wasn't that a foul, Skin?
Okay.
Why wasn't that a foul?
Because it was a controlled shot. He was just checking overs.
Okay. So the shot was all right. It was controlled, but in the end, they were just checking the horse, so they went for the penalty. So they went for the throw-in instead of the penalty. And here's Pitaluga. Pitaluga's made a break. The Whites are attacking. Musio's come back to try and get to Pitaluga, but he's shunted up to the front on the near side. But Pitaluga finally gets the better of him in the ride-off and brings it back in. Torreira goes in to try and support, but quick as a flash, making up for any previous mistakes. Pitaluga comes in, just lifted his head a bit too much over that one, so Torreira has another chance. Both of them losing the ball, despite the conditions are immaculate on this field. There's not much bounce at all, but maybe a little haste here as the time is running out. We got 1 minute 35. A drive through from Musio. Can Juan Pepe put it back in time? It's right there in front of goal mouth. Ali Musio has another crack, but coming in nice and clean down that line as JP reaches forward, doesn't get it away from Musio. And here comes Laprida. Oh, that would have been a lovely meet if JP had managed to catch that one. But still putting his hips and shoulders into that one. Laprida with another one up for JP. Now JP's got to let this one rip. He's out in front. He's actually drifted off to the side a bit, so he's no longer in front, but he was heading towards that goal and just overcooked it by a matter of yards and put it over the sideline. But it's enough. Delaying tactics, pushing them up to their end, really causing them problems now as they've got less than a minute left to try and recuperate any score, but they're not going to make 3 goals, that's for sure. So a lovely way to finish this with a nice run from JP regardless of the goal, but doing his very best to make a difference. It's Torreira absolutely moving at the speed of light now, right there in front of goal. Torreira comes in. It's a very fancy goal, but it's not going to be enough because we've got 11. It's going to take them all of those 10 seconds just to get back to the centre now. Not even. The clock, the timer was ahead of ours, and that was it. Nice way to finish for him, for Torreira, but unfortunately for this team debuting here, it's not enough. 12 Oaks have come away with their first win of the tournament, the first tournament of a whole high goal season that we've got here in the UK, and it was a lovely debut from both. We're going to see a few stats, a few best goal plays, and then let you know that tomorrow the King Power game will be played. Sorry, this afternoon the King Power game will be played at Billingbear this afternoon. We've got a few comments that we've had online. Prince of Wales Trophy. I can't actually read any of these comments, but we're going to have a look at the best goals instead. Okay, early on, Pitaluga. No, this was Waldridge. This was a searing run from Waldridge. Lovely way to start. And it was actually these couple of goals that gave them the edge. And here's another one from him, out in front of Musio and Juan Gris Zavaleta. Look at that. You want to keep that footage and put that and make that into a GIF. And here's a nice one from Musio. Lovely goal. Pass up to Torreira. Look at Torreira break through here and get past the two and the 3 for the 12 Oaks team. Laprida, Pitaluga. And this lovely lofted shot that came down in front of Torreira. Torreira just poked it through while they were still looking over their shoulder. Oh, and that was a beauty. That was a beauty from Laprida. He made his way round and just got past the pack with enough air to put them through. This was good too. Zavaleta just tucked it under the neck, almost backwards. And JP Clarkin. Couple of checks and then pops it in. And a very satisfying end to that game. So we can see of the field goals, you can see 12 Oaks just got a few more, but they won more throw-ins. Four more of the throw-ins is pretty significant. The fouls was pretty even. I think they were commenting on this over in the officials area, that it was going either way with the fouls. No yellow cards, nice clean game, that's the way we want it. And the penalties, just only 12 Oaks that didn't make the most of their 7. So 2 even teams, we'll see them. This won't be the last time we'll see them against each other. So that's set to be a pretty impressive timetable